I was breaking different codes and data systems and doing data analysis against the Soviet Union. After 9/11, they took one of the programs I had done, or the back end part of it, and started to use it to spy on everybody in this country. So, and that was a program they created called Stellar Wind. That was separate and compartmented from the regular activity that was ongoing, because it was doing domestic spying. All the equipment was coming in. I knew something was happening, but then when the contractors I had hired came and told me what they were doing, it was clear where all the hardware was going and what they were using it to do. It was simply a different input. Instead of being foreign, it was domestic input.
Somebody told me that they can listen to what we're saying by my having this, even if it's turned off.
Yes. Here's the real grand design. Every domain, think of a domain as an activity, a specific type of activity. Phone calls, or banking is another domain.
Okay, so we just heard the best code breaker and mathematician that the NSA has ever had say that they used banking accounts and cell phones to monitor us. Well, something that's very interesting I want to touch on here is that YouTube, that's owned by Google, started the partner program where they pay small amounts of money to put ads on videos. Well, in order to make those payments, they were at first sending out paper checks to an address. Well, recently that has been changed, and the only way that you can get a payment now is if you have a bank account. So in effect it's forcing everyone on the YouTube AdSense partner payment program to have a bank account. Like, so if somebody didn't have a bank account, chooses not to deal with banks, well, it's in order to participate in that situation, they must have a bank account. So in my opinion, I think that it's strange that they got a whole bunch of people involved in this program, and some people have been on it for a few years now, so they're used to supplementing an income in a small type of way by participating in this. So sure, some people would say, we'll just stop being a partner and whatever. And that's understandable, but do you see how the psychological game was played by putting it out there, making it easy, and then all of a sudden now that a person has been on that for a couple of years and used to that being a part of what they do, make this drastic change to where most people are not going to make that choice to just stop. They're going to go and get a bank account, and they're going to give that information, or if they already have one and chose not to use that as their type of payment in the past, they're going to relinquish that information now. And so then all that information will be available. And let's scroll down here and take a look at something else. Okay, now the EFT, electronic funds transfer, if your country is listed in this list, it is mandatory for you to relinquish that information in order to continue to participate in that program. And now if you look at the asterisk here with the United States, there's an asterisk, checking accounts only. Well, I find that very interesting because with the checking account, rather than say a savings account, it gives more information, because with this information on your checking account, they can follow your spending habits, buying habits, the habits. That's the more way to collect more information. And I find that to be very interesting, considering what we have just watched. So this is pretty interesting. This is the YouTube account verification request. To enable additional features on your account, we require you to verify that your account is currently under your control by providing us your mobile phone number. Okay, say that again with me slowly. Mobile phone number. Please enter your mobile number and we'll send you a text message containing a verification code from Google. And then you're supposed to enter it in that box and submit. Okay, then they have your mobile phone information. Okay, so that relinquishes your mobile phone information as well as your checking account information. And are those the two things that the man just was talking about in the video, of how they collect all the information without us even being aware of it? I find that to be very interesting. This is the second page of the mobile phone YouTube account verification request. And it says, before enabling unlimited length video uploads for your YouTube account, we may require you to verify that your account is active by providing us with your mobile number. And they use the excuses to prevent abuse. I don't know how that relinquishing your mobile phone number would prevent abuse when you could just as easily relinquish your home phone number, or they could send it to your email address. But no, instead they are requesting your mobile phone number, cell phone, where they're programmed, they can listen to you even if it's turned off. Yeah, that thing. Okay, then let's scroll down. It says countries supported for text messages or voice call. Some countries and carriers do not support text or voice messages from Google. If your country or carrier is not on our list of supported carriers, you might want to try another carrier. So instead of offering another option, such as email or home phone, they request that you get another mobile phone carrier. And then the last one, it says, why do I have to verify my account via SMS? Why can't I verify via email or via another method? For now, you will need a special code to receive longer uploads capabilities. Currently, we're only sending these codes via SMS messages to mobile phones. So you'll need a mobile phone with SMS or text messages capabilities. Most phones have this to verify your account and receive longer uploads. So this is very interesting how this all ties together. Okay, I've shown you the NSA's most intelligent code breaker mathematician worked there for 35 plus years, and the man has said that's how they do it. Mobile phones and banking information. I hope y'all are safe. Godspeed. I'll talk to you again soon.
So if you think of graphing each domain, and then each graph then turning it in the third dimension, the trick now is to map through all the domains in that third dimension, pulling together all the attributes that any individual has in every domain, so that now I can pull your entire life together from all those domains and map it out and show your entire life over time.
Why you're not afraid?
Why should I be?
I don't, because if what you're saying, if it was possible, it would be revolutionary and people would have a vested interest in preventing that from happening.
I'm too old to be afraid. I'm too old.
I'm not sure how many of you got a chance to hear Keith Alexander yesterday, the head of the NSA, talk about the NSA's activities. Bill, how do you reconcile, is there some way to reconcile General Alexander's statement that the NSA isn't keeping track of every American with the existence of a facility like the one in Utah?
NSA's charter, and it was a legitimate one, was to do foreign intelligence, and I was with that all the way, and I did the best I could in that job. Unfortunately, they took those programs that I built and turned them on you, and I'm sorry for that. I didn't intend that, but they did that.
What you're describing really is hard to reconcile with the laws as the laws are generally understood by the lawyers who work with them.
Most people are familiar with the Webster's definition of intercept. UCIT 18 has a different definition, and that's an intercept doesn't take place until it's actually listened to, until somebody puts on some earphones or actually reads some text on a screen. So you can pull in all the communications you want.
The acquisition isn't the search. The querying later on is the search. They can then keep it in their database and target after the fact by going back and conducting data mining searches afterward, in other words, to get the information that they couldn't target from the outset.
And there is another real problem. Unfortunately, the software will, once it takes in data, it will build profiles on everybody in that data. The purpose is to monitor, be able to monitor what people are doing. You build social networks for everybody. That then turns into the graph, and then you index all that data to that graph. which means you can pull out a community that gives you an outline of the life of everybody in the community. And if you carry it over time from 2001 up, you have that 10 years worth of their life that you could lay out in a timeline that involves anybody in the country. Even senators and House of Representatives, all of them. The dangers here are that we fall into something like a totalitarian state like East Germany. Well, they came in guns drawn, in my house. They didn't do that to the others, but they did to me. I guess, I don't know, they thought I was probably the most dangerous of all, so I don't know. I don't know what was in their minds, okay? So, but they did that, and they came in and pointed a gun at me when I was getting out of the shower at the time, so they pointed a gun right at my old head, said, hey. So, I wasn't too upset. I just said, yeah, suppose I could get dressed here. They weren't intimidating me anyway, so. Tell me something that will implicate somebody in a crime. That's what they asked me. So I told them what the crime was that I knew about, and that was that George Bush, Dick Cheney, Tennant, and Hayden conspired to subvert the Constitution, the constitutional process, and any number of laws, and here's how they did it, and I explained stellar wind on my back porch to all the FBI agents who weren't cleared. So they had a problem. I created a problem for them because they had a bunch of people now who weren't cleared for a very highly classified, only because it was domestic spying, by the way, was the reason it was highly classified. They wanted to highly classify the extreme impeachable crimes that they were committing. It needs to be out in the open. We need to, as a democracy, we need to say, do we want our government doing this or not? And do we want our government to have this data or not? And if so, if we want them to have it, then what kind of controls? And they have to be a little bit more visible. It can't all be done in secret. You can't have secret interpretations of laws and run them in secret, not tell anybody. Or can't make up kill lists and not tell anybody what the criteria is for being in the kill list. This is something the KGB, the Stasi, or the Gestapo would have loved to have had about their populations. So, I mean, and just because we call ourselves a democracy, right, doesn't mean we will stay that way. That's the real danger. And we, the people, may have absolutely nothing to say about it. We haven't had anything to say so far.